producer's in the background doing some stuff, working on some of his video audio. But I think you guys are hearing mine. So again, tonight we're going to be talking about a few things. One, we're going to drink our whiskey of the evening, which is Woodford Reserve Double Oak. It's pretty good whiskey in my opinion. Most Woodford Reserves, unless they're the like barrel proof or whatnot, it's 45.2% alcohol by volume. This one in particular is actually a store pick from West Virginia, Ashbrook Liquor, and it's probably my second store pick from them that I've had on the show. It's pretty good. But my new buddy, Hank Danger, he hasn't really broadened himself out into new whiskeys, and I'm gonna say this: I'm a sucker for anything double oak. Just gives it that little extra sweetness. It gives it that a little extra oak without waiting. I don't know, 12 years in the bottle or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I think from a price perspective, it kind of comes down. We've been drinking this week. No big deal there. We'll talk about what's going on with the Super Bowl. Maybe we talk about some celebrities, or we just talk about the foods and some of the big parties everyone's going to. Hopefully, everyone has some good times on the Super Bowl Sunday and enjoys themselves. Oh, look at that! We have a new visitor.
Who
Hank
would have thought?
Danger.
Who would have thought
Right.
I could figure out technology? How are you doing,
So
Mr.?
again, go ahead, man.
How, how you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just trying to break into a groove here. Like I said at the beginning, this is what our second or third show together. So hopefully we get into a rhythm that makes this pretty straightforward. We do try to get a little online a little early and get things ready, and we did do that. But again, who knows what comes up with IT and technical difficulties, batteries and all kinds of stuff. So, on top of, again, our snacks for Super Bowl Sunday, Woodford Reserve, I think Hank Danger made up a game. We'll try that. I don't know what it
Whiskey or
is.
boats? Whiskey or boats, man? Is it a whiskey? Is it a boat? You're gonna have to guess.
All right. And, just for the fans, I might wait like 5 seconds so they could actually guess as well. We won't see it on the chat because our chat, I looked at our chat, it's about 25 seconds delay, since between streaming and actually hitting. So if you've got something to say, I probably won't see it for like 20 seconds. So just hang with us. And then, that's all I have. You want to start off with what is our first thing of the evening? Is it usually breaking news or something, or?
Well, the well, yeah, we were. I was talking. We talked about. I'm sure you probably filled the time with when have I been drinking?
No,
This.
I just said we're going to talk about that. So
Oh, so what'd you
just
what'd you what'd you drink this week, Phyllis?
all right, that's cool. Yeah, well, I had an inkling for some rye. It is kind of cold up here. It was like 25 degrees, and I feel like the rye kind of gives you that Kentucky hug, and so I enjoyed it. And what I went back to was something that you might have saw on the show previously, but it's this old Overholt cash strength 10-year rye. It's actually pretty good. I think it's from Jim Beam. It's 121 proof. I had that to start it off, and actually I was more impressed this time than I was last. So, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a proof that the neck pour has issues, but if that is the case, you might want to try that Bardstown again because I had a little of that earlier today, and I was like, man, I don't know
Uh,
why he didn't like it.
I
So,
had that right. I had the last week's
oh,
nip.
last week's contestant. Is it as bad as you remember? Because you were like pretty hating on it pretty hard.
Now, it's kind of what I drank this week too. I brought it over to a neighbor's house and
Okay.
we tried it out. He's more of a Scotch drinker.
Oh, okay, a little smoky action. Yep.
He loves wild turkey. Don't get me wrong. He will drink the heck out of some wild turkey. But he tried it. He really liked it, and I had a couple glasses with him. it's not. It's found its rhythm with me. You know,
Okay, okay.
it's not. You know, it's not spitted out of bed horrible, but you know,
Spit it out of bed.
I'm trying to come up with new whiskey phrases that you know. I'm trying to come up with whiskey
I don't know
phrases
about
that.
that one. That might not be the one we want. That might not make us, kid friendly or something. If we're spitting something out of bed. You know what I'm
We
saying?
did click yes. This spot. This is good for kids. So you know.
Okay. Well, we had in our pre meeting that if you join our Patreon, you can join in. We did have one of Paul's daughters with us, and she said, "I don't think you would want me to join because you might get negative comments," and that is probably the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah. So that's pretty funny.
Now
So
I did read a little bit about Bardstown this week. The about their new factory last year. They at the end of the year um, they're building this brand new modern high tech factory.
oh yeah,
The thing that caught my eye the most in the article was it's supposed to have it'll incorporate artificial intelligence applications. So people can it will also so it can provide customers with real time information about the liquid.
oh okay.
My question to you is: do you want that in your whiskey? You know, do we want? I mean, what's the benefit of new modern facilities versus you know
Well, I mean,
facilities
I'm
and
thinking.
warehouses that have been there for years?
Well, it really depends. I mean, I think it'd be kind of. I mean, it might be. You know, I wouldn't say it a niche, but I do know that I was looking some stuff earlier this week, and they were talking about some, barrel programs where you come out and taste it, or you help bottle it, or no, not bottle it, but help distill it, and then they barrel it, and you have to wait 6 years. And they were talking about how they would maybe give you a sip every 6 months or a year or whatever, so you can watch it mature. So this like evidence that you're talking about, like maybe you could have like a device in there with it, and it's like, yo, this is the alcohol content. Oh, yo, this is the color, or clarity or transparency, so you can start to get like some reading on if it's dark, or is it getting the wood tan and so forth. So I mean, there's certain like
But
monitoring
do you really
those
want
kind.
all that? I mean, is it?
Again, I don't want it because I'm a purist. I just want to, do that. But I'm saying I could see a lot of people going, "Oh, look, I bought this barrel, or I helped make this, and look, this is where it's at. It's aged already 3 years and 4 months, and it's already this color, and it's this percentage alcohol, and like when it's this weight. I don't know. Maybe the weight will say, oh, so when it's ready to mature, I'll get 200 bottles off of it, or whatever it may be. So it might get people excited, because a lot of times if you're waiting 4 or 5 years or whatever for some of this stuff, it might turn into a nightmare. You're like sitting there going, "Oof," or you might even forget about it. Another thing, if you actually use like measuring and devices like that, maybe you could actually put into your system somehow, like the actual volume in the barrels and those kind of things. And I hear some numbers, and these are fake numbers, but I hear like the price that you pay for whiskey, like 90% or something like that, some crazy astronomical, is due to taxes. And a lot of the taxes are based on the actual liquid volume. And I know a lot of the barrels that are aged for 10, 15 years lose probably like over half of its initial volume. And if you could say, hey, this is now my new volume, I should only get taxed at this rate instead of that rate, maybe you'd save some money, both from a distillery
Mm,
standpoint and the consumer.
that's. I feel like that's too much, man. I feel like that's too.
No, I hear you, but and
Yeah.
again, I think they are trying to bring, like you said, it is a state of the art type of facility, because it's only been made in the last
Oh,
8, 10 years or whatever. And they are trying to bring science to whiskey. And actually, it was kind of funny. I was on another site, and they were talking about, like, in the old times, I think it was like with, I don't know if it was who was it? Like Thomas Handy or somebody. I forget who it was, but it was showing that like he was one of the big makers of one of the like famous whiskeys. I think Thomas H. Handy's like a famous rye or whatever. But like he was quoted with like, "Hey, no chemist allowed." So like he didn't want chemistry and like science involved in this art of distillery, art of making whiskey, and like that's what I kind of think of it.
Yeah,
I
I
think
want a couple guys with overalls and shovels and
I don't know.
putting bags over their shoulders and bringing it to the, it's,
No, I hear what you're saying, and it's all what, but I'm saying it's all, you know, it's all what you're into, and this game needs to be inviting to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
and that's how I assume Kentucky Deluxe is made, right? Just a couple guys with some overalls and a couple bags of barley.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Who
All
knows?
right. All right. So we,
Hey, so what
today,
else have I been drinking? I want to give a shout out to my Sagamore Spirit here. You probably can't see it, read
let
it.
me, hold on. Let me get you there.
Let me get a little closer. This is the Kingston Hard Cider Cask Aged Rye. So when I went down to uh, Sagamore, it was a little after Halloween, I want to say. We went down to Gettysburg for some ghost hunting, and then we went on to Maryland afterwards to
Ghost hunting?
yeah. There's supposedly some like like famous ghost hunting in Gettysburg because of all the dead soldiers and stuff. So there's a lot of stories and all this kind of stuff.
We'll talk after. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So once we went there, like I was like, well, Maryland's only like or Baltimore's only like 40 minutes. Can we go there and I can check out the distillery. So we went there the next day and this was the special exclusive that they had that day and it was so good. It it tastes just like what it talks about. It's a hard cider. So I think basically there was a cask that had hard cider in it, and they're aging this or finishing this in that cask, and it brings in the crisp apple, the nice flavors that you get from a cider or those type of drinks. And so that was probably one of my favorite drinks of last
It,
week.
is it more of a subtle cider or is it more of a flavored whiskey that tastes like cider?
No, it's more of it's straight up rye whiskey because it's 98.6. I mean, but you just get like it's like a rye. You know, how rye's are a little spicy and got a little herbalness to them, but this has a little sweetness and like it's like a nice bright sweetness with the apple crisp type flavor in the background. So it gives it that nice sugary apple mash kind of flavor to it, if you know what I mean.
Another
It's
another whiskey coming out in the news. I wanted to bring your attention to the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof January A124 119 proof is out for 2024. What's your thought on the Elijah Craig barrel proofs?
well, I mean, I've had two or three different Elijah Craig barrel proofs, and they are they're good. They're good value because they're only about I don't know 65, $75 depending on where you're at. Again, they are like a cast strength type of whiskey because they're usually at like 120 to 130 kind of proof. The one that just finished, what was it, the C, which was C923, which was last year, I guess September it came out. It was super hard to find. I mean, like the secondary is probably two or three times, X, from the
For Elijah
MSRP.
Craig, people are
Yeah,
paying.
and it's
All
because
right.
but I mean, but this is supposedly like a stag killer. It was like top five of the year. People were like, "Oh, this is like good whiskey," and I wasn't able to get it because it was so hard to find. And I think it was also uh, from an age statement because Elijah Craig used to always be age stated at 12 years, 12 years, 12 years. And I think last year was the first time where they said, we're moving to 12 years. We're gonna, taste it and say, oh, it's ready. It's ready to meet these qualifications, whatever it is. If it's 12 years, if it's 10 years, if it's 13 years, or whatever. And I think the B last year was only like 11 years and 6 months or something.
Right.
But the C was like 13 years and 9 months. So it was like, oh, and like a lot of people, probably mentally look at it and go, oh, it's going to be much better because it's, again, aged longer. It was also higher proof, and a lot of people in the whiskey game like, oh, if it's higher proof, then it's got more concentration, it's got more, you know, viscous, all those kind of things that
Right.
whiskey lovers love. Well, A124, one, it's the youngest Elijah Craig barrel proof at like 10 years, 9 months.
Right.
Two, it's actually the lowest proof in like 5 years because it's only 119. So you're getting a lot of haters out of the door right now that are just without even tasting it, they hate it. If I run it by it on the store, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up, give it a shot because again, it's a good value. I'd like to see what it tastes like, but you know, that's what I hear. So if you see it in Texas, grab it. Usually, Pennsylvania is at least a month and a half late on all the drops. So, we probably won't see A124 until probably next 2 3 weeks because we're in middle of February now, so that seems reasonable. So we might see it in the next 2 weeks or so.
Well, if we get overwhelming ground support and in the comments, people want us to try it. We might do that in March.
Yeah, we might go after it. Now I know the last show you were talking about 1924, and I will say, oh Hank, read the damn chat. Both of you are lagging.
You're
Oh
lagging.
yeah, she said actually she's the only one that's having issues. So it's probably her phone. So
That's
we're
right.
all good. So no worries. So again, we're 20 seconds late on chat, but we were probably like 10 minutes late on that one. Sorry about that, Amy. Thanks for being one of our dedicated, yeah, whiskey hearts,
All
dedicated
right,
devotees.
I think it's time. I think it's time to play.
Oh, hold on, hold on.
Okay.
You were talking about 1924. So if you do see it in the wild, grab it because I do want to try it. I've
All
heard
right.
some really good things about it. It supposedly has the best nose of any whiskey they've had in like 2 or 3 years. People are talking about it. They do say the finish is a little flat, but the front end taste and the nose are phenomenal. So I'd like to give it a shot. And I love Old Foresters. So okay, now back to your next brand. Or what are we talking about?
All right, guys, it's time to play. Is it a boat or is it whiskey? Is it obscure whiskey? All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Our first nominee. I'm going to tell you the name. You tell me is it the name of a boat or is it a type of whiskey? First one is Jackpot. Jackpot. Is it the name of a boat or is it a whiskey?
Jackpot.
Jackpot. The word
So we're
jackpot.
gonna do the little Jeopardy countdown. Do 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 do.
I'll play. Hold on. I'll play our theme song in the background.
All right, that should be enough time
All
for me
right.
to think. All right, jackpot. Is there
Jack.
any other clues with that?
You
Brand
get
name?
no
Is it
clues.
just jackpot? Is it like jackpot straight? Is it?
Can you
just
can you envision seeing it in the shelf at your local liquor store, or is it potentially the name of a boat?
I'm gonna go boat.
Boom! There you go.
Bam! I knew it. Woo! 1 for 1. All right.
All right.
Now I
Ne-
could see this. Now jackpot would not be a bad type of whiskey. Like, have you ever heard of Lucky 7?
yes.
It's a good brand. It's up and coming. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't say up and coming. It's
I
been
know
around,
that's
but
bold,
it's
man.
about yeah, it's about gambling and people taking risks and those kind of things. I could see them having a jackpot, brand of their under their umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Lucky 7 jackpot.
All
Seven
right.
years. You know what I'm saying? 7 years because of the 777. What do you
All
think?
right.
What do you think?
Next one. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Green Spot. Green Spot. Is it a whiskey or is it a boat?
Green spot. Is that one word or two?
It is 2 words.
All right. 2 words. Green spot. Go with the theme music for 5 seconds.
All right.
All right, end it.
Is it a whiskey? Is it a boat? Green
I'm
spot.
going to say boat.
Wrong. It is a whiskey,
Whoa.
sir.
Okay. What kind of whiskey is that? Is that like Irish or something?
It's an Irish whiskey, yeah.
Okay.
All
Looks
right.
good. I like it.
All right, next one. Next one. You are 1 for 1.
No, I'm 1 and 1. 1 for 1 would be.
You're 1 for 2. Sorry. All right.
There we go.
Frida. Frieda. Frida. Is it a boat or is it a whiskey?
Frieda.
Yes. Frida.
All right. I'm ready to answer. Give the people 3 seconds on the.
1, 2. All right.
Whiskey.
It's a boat. It's a boat. Oh man.
I'm gonna put on my thing boat whiskey. Dang it.
The
I
next.
could easily see a Frida being a cordial. Go ahead.
The next one's hard. The next one's very hard. Addictivo.
Oh, I know.
Like you're an addict. Addictivo.
I know this one for a fact. I'm ready.
Go for it. Whiskey or a boat?
Give them 3 seconds.
2. All right.
Whiskey.
Boom! It is a whiskey.
Bam! Yeah, I knew it because they got that weird ass bottle, man. It looks really nice.
Okay.
I think I saw that on Bruzel's channel or something. He was talking about, should I get this as a weird bottle?
That's cheating. You watch other whiskey shows. I only watch ours.
Is there any other?
Who else can have a 3-minute delay because somebody couldn't figure out how to connect their earphones? All right, we got 2 more. Oh, this is good.
Oh, I gotta get credit for Addictivo.
Addictivo. All right. The name is Kama. 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 Kama.
I think I'm ready.
3 seconds. Is it a boat? Is it a whiskey?
I'm ready.
What do you got?
Say it's a whiskey, and I think it's Indian whiskey.
God, you know what? Nope, it's a boat.
Damn it, it's a boat.
Oh, this is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. All right.
I'm gonna guess without even hearing the name that this is whiskey because you went 3 and 3.
Oh, come on.
I mean, it's just a guess because I'm into numbers.
Okay. Let's see if I'm smarter than that. Let's see if I can outsmart you.
Don't make one up off the top of your head now.
No, this is I've got them written down in the JPEG images. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
The Macklowe. Macklowe, all one word with the in front of it. The Macklowe.
You know what?
I know, right?
I'm ready.
What do you got? Oh, are we giving 3 seconds? All right. What do you got?
All right.
The Macklowe. You guessed like one boat. Are you sure?
It's a whiskey.
Boom! It is a whiskey, yes.
Yes. Is it? Oh, it's American single malt. Okay. I was thinking it was a Scotch itself, but I mean, I guess American malt is kind of a Scotch. But I was thinking that I had the 12 Days of Christmas or whatever, and I had quite a few international whiskeys, and I thought one of them was like Mac something, and I was thinking Macklowe. I was like, oh yeah, he's trying to mess with me. So that's why I went with whiskey on that one. So I'm 3 and 3. So next week, are we going to do? Is it a whiskey or boat, or do I need to do the thing to you and say, is it a whiskey or an airplane or something?
Oh yeah, ooh. Whiskey or pick another genre. I like that. We should
Yeah.
put that. Pretty much made the episode for me. We should put in the title. Whiskey / whiskey or boat. All right, Billy. Let's take a look. Are we ready to do the tasting? I do not
Yeah,
have a
let's
pick.
go ahead. Let's go ahead and get the tasting in, and while we're tasting it, we can talk about what we're going to do for the Super Bowl,
Ah,
and
yes.
I'll talk about what I think the best snacks are ever. So
Yeah.
again, this is my Woodford Reserve. It is again a single barrel pick from Ashbrook Liquor. From my opinion, this is a little more, I would say, dark chocolate than what you get from most Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Most standard Woodford Reserve Double Oak has that nice sweet taste to it, and I think you'll get that from yours. So off the front, mine's got a little. Oh yeah, I can definitely smell a little marshmallow in it almost.
Oh
Marshmallow
my
and chocolate.
gosh. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, man.
So
It looks fantastic, by the way. Just
it is dark.
I like that. It's got a nice rich darkness.
Right. You ready to go straight in?
All right, let's do it.
Oh yeah. Mine
Whoa.
is mine is smooth as all get out, man. And it's sticking with me too. And I can get like like that shaved dark chocolate that you put on as like little toppings for like a cake or something.
Yeah.
You definitely taste those coming out. You know?
It's very it is incredibly smooth. That is absolutely true. But it's got a little. It's kind of like a car floating in on air. Very smooth, but you can tell the train's going down. It's got a little something. I'm gonna take another sip.
The train's going down.
I don't
Now
know, man.
I think a lot of people get like acetone chemical type flavors off of this. I don't
A little bit.
know.
It's got yeah. You can. It's
Now,
very
I don't.
airy. It's very airy. It's very airy is what I'm trying to say. I guess.
Do you open up your mouth while you're drinking it and smell it?
I don't know about that.
Do you get like a little banana on the back end? I don't know if you get banana on Woodford Reserve or if it's Old Forester, but I would think all Brown Foreman would be kind of similar. Get any banana?
What is that when it hits your lips for the first time? What's that? What is that? Can't describe it.
From a flavor perspective or a sensation?
I guess it's kind of chemically, like when it hits your mouth for the first time. It's got this
Okay.
very. I don't know. It's very
It is
interesting.
chemical. It is ethanol. So I mean, maybe the woods aren't hiding the ethanol enough. I don't know.
I'm intrigued. I like it better than last week's. I like it better than the Bardstown because it doesn't confuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
Oh, it is one thing. There is no like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm trying to be complex here. It's like, yo, I'm a dessert whiskey. Like after you just had a nice steak or something, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to have a chocolate pie, but I'll have one of these.
It is
And
it is that thing, and the question is, do I like that thing? I don't know.
well, if you don't like that thing, you can always bottle it up and send it to me, bro.
I think it would be a little much for the uninitiated. You know what I'm saying?
No way. Oh, really? I
Yeah.
mean, this is a good starter. I would.
But we are initiated. That's my Bane impression.
Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, I would think that from my perspective, that it would be like real easy because it is super smooth. It's got like again a lot of flavor to it. One kind of thing. It's real sweet, and in my opinion, it's got like the darkness or the bitterness is like a chocolate bitterness. So it's not like a leather or oaky type finish.
It does. It has a very jarring. So once the chocolateness settles in, it's a little jarring uh, from the time it hits your lips to the time it hits the back of your throat. Like on your tongue, it's a little jarring. It doesn't something. I don't know. If I was looking for a certain, I'm like, hey, I'll try it. For the I don't drink a lot of whiskey. It'd be very jarring for me until I got to that chocolate. I don't know.
Okay, I hear you.
I feel
So,
like it's the thing that when people put that don't drink a lot of whiskey and they put it in their mouth, they're just like all of a sudden before they
I
even
feel what you're saying,
taste it.
but I really think this is probably one of the smoother ones.
Oh, it's smooth. It's smooth as all get out. I mean, it is. It's interesting. It does have. I like it. It has personality, right? Like that's what I'm looking for in my whiskey. I'm looking for. Does it have personality? Does it have a unique personality? Because that's why you buy it, right? That's why I'd buy it again. I want to taste that. Like you said, this, what you would use it for. You would use it for after a big meal. You don't want dessert, but you drink it instead. That's perfect. That serves a purpose. I mean, you understand its personality, and that's what you want to use it again for. So I like whiskey that does that.
I feel you.
It's not bad.
So before we go ahead and give it a final grade, let's talk about Super Bowl. I was thinking to bring up like I don't know the top 10 type snacks or something like that. And when I went online, I was looking. When I actually made my personal list, I was like, it's kind of hard to judge things together. And what I would have probably done, and I think probably other outlets have done it. They probably did a bracket where you got like 4 or 5 different 4 categories, and you put all the categories, like all the dips and all the like entree type items and all the maybe desserts and maybe I don't know, snacks or chips or something, or even instead of snacks and chips, maybe include those with the dips and like do like a drinks type of special. So in each of those categories, I'm gonna read off a few, and then you tell me what you like. And maybe
I think you're overthinking it, but go ahead. I'll play along. What do you got?
Yeah, so we're looking at dips here. What do you think of buffalo chicken dip? Yay or nay?
Overplayed. It was great. It was great in 2002. But the Patriots don't win the Super Bowl anymore. So.
Well, 2002. I don't know.
I don't know, man. You know what I'm talking about.
No, but I mean,
those who are watching and don't like sports know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
I really like buffalo chicken dip. My wife makes a very mean one. We actually made it for work once, and some people at work were like, "Hey, I got to get the recipe. It's so good." And I was like,
I'm sure the first people made that. I'm sure the first people who made a hamburger were like, "Oh man, this is great," but it's been 2,000 years, and I'm tired of Wendy's. You know what I'm saying?
So okay, how about cheese dip? What do you think of cheese dip? We talking like Poncho's cheese dip back in the day. We talking about like new white queso, like you get at a maybe like a Mexican joint. What are you thinking? Yay or nay?
You got Rotel. I mean, it's a staple. It's like wheat, grain, barley, Rotel dip. I mean, it's a staple.
Well, now you've gone on to something else. Is Rotel?
But it's Rotel dip cheese dip. You know what I'm saying? Is Rotel dip cheese dip?
Like my mom used to make a Rotel dip, and it was pretty good. With Velveeta and all this kind of stuff. And then nowadays I got another one that's got Rotel in it. It's got Velveeta. But then they throw some cumin and some other spices in it to give it a little spice up. So
Rotel, Velveeta, crockpot.
Hold on, the Velveeta goes
plunk. Yeah.
Right.
You got to cut it up, man.
How about guacamole?
Guacamole are for those who haven't found Jesus yet. I mean,
I like guacamole, but not for a Super Bowl.
No, guacamole is horrible. Guacamole is what you eat if the zombie apocalypse came and you were down to like, what was left at Winn-Dixie.
Well, guacamole wouldn't stick around probably if you were in a pocket.
It'd be
avocado gets nasty quick.
But it's a zombie apocalypse. You haven't had good food in a while. You ran out of SpaghettiOs,
Debatable. All
Yeah.
right, what do you think of like spinach artichoke?
All right, so that's difficult because artichokes are horrible normally, but in spinach something happens where the
Well, I
flavor
don't
is
think it's the
unlocked. Yeah,
spinach. It's like the cheese and the cream that goes in it. It's not really the spinach.
it could be those things too as well, right?
I feel you.
Yeah,
Or how about a French onion or a 6-layer dip?
too many layers. One you get over two or three, yeah, that's too many layers for a cheese dip.
French onion?
French onion's not. It's what people from California put on their top ten Super Bowl snack list.
Oh, it is on
Yeah,
the top 10 for California. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that category, do you have any dips that you would add to that? I'll be
Salsa?
right back. The battery's running low. 2 seconds.
Oh.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, okay, I thought I was going to do a little monologue. All right.
No. Just come up with some dips.
Salsa. You got to have salsa.
Well, I had salsa in there with guacamole, but you were really down on guac, so I was just.
No, I'm a human and I have a heart and I know how to love. Salsa's. You got to have salsa.
Okay.
Well, another dip.
But you don't see any other dip. Hey, I'll go on to the next.
Queso and
category.
salsa. You can't go wrong with queso and salsa.
So those are what you would choose from a dip perspective.
Yeah. French onions
I would go with the buffalo chicken dip. It gives you a little
protein. It's been played, man. It's been played. Buffalo chicken. Been played.
Yeah, but it gives you options because usually, like, the healthy people come in and they're like, oh, buffalo chicken dip, but I'll use celery and carrots and and then like me or you go in there and go, give me a big old tortilla chip and throw as much as I can on there, because they're just wanting the cheese.
Who's putting buffalo chicken on celery?
Oh, brother. I'll hook you up next time you come by.
Celery,
So I'm a buffalo chicken, you're cheese and salsa. Okay, cool. All right.
I'm a classic man. Classic taste.
Now, would you want to go would you want to include like Lay's potato chips and all that kind of stuff in that category with dips, or would you want that separate?
You cannot. The only thing you can't do. There's only one rule in chips. Like chips are. I don't care if they're Doritos Cool Ranch to Lay's plain to cheese curls. There's only one thing you can't do with chips is use a non-tortilla chip with salsa. That's it. There's no other rules in the chip game.
I got one rule. You ready?
Good.
All right, this might break the internet. But buy brand name, okay?
Oh, whatever, man. Walmart.
Tostitos, like rounds, are good for a reason. Don't get your
no. They're sturdy. They're sturdy for a reason. Listen, if you want a sturdy chip, buy name brand, right? But from a taste, we'll do a blind tortilla chip taste test.
I will win that one all day.
I guarantee you won't. We'll put the Walmart great value brand.
Some of these like off brands like that try to make Lay's. I mean, there's some terrible potato chips.
Who tries to make Lay's? I don't know. But from a tortilla chip perspective, you can't.
So in the snacks, I have pretzels, Lay's, Doritos, snack mix. Because like you mix the Chex and the nuts and maybe some M&Ms. You get a little handful. It's all about hand foods and popcorn. What do you think?
You got to have the obligatory like little bowl of in between the queso and the chips and the hot dogs and whatever. Yeah. You got to have that. Yeah.
And popcorn. What do you think of popcorn being a part of snacks and chips?
Popcorn's for the week on Super Bowl Sunday. It's great for movies.
Okay. Okay.
I'd replace an entire Thursday night dinner with it at times, but not for the Super Bowl. It's not a movie you're watching. You don't know the ending, right?
So, from my perspective, I'm a Lay's and Dorito kind of guy.
As I.
All right, so we're gonna both agree on that one. So those are going into the finals. All right, so now I'm thinking, I really always thought you got to have wings for the Super Bowl, right?
Have to. I think it's a
Yeah.
law. It's a law in
Right.
Oklahoma. But yeah.
So the question when I was coming up with the bracket, I was like, do you do like flavors of wings or do you do other things with wings? So like, I don't know, your like pizza and pepperoni rolls, your pierogies, your like your Totino's pizza bites and all that kind of stuff. I think all that's together. What do you think?
What do you mean you do something else with wings? Like
No, like if you're gonna put it in a category, I put it together like any handheld type
it's
of
on
food.
it's the entrees for your Super Bowl party, right? Yeah.
Correct. All right.
Wings, pizza rolls, a
Pizza,
small pig.
pepperoni,
Yeah.
egg rolls. What do you think of egg rolls? Huh?
For Super Bowl, no. Chinese New
No.
Year, maybe. It's tomorrow, but
Okay. Oh well. Shout out to China. What do you think of like the little Smokies or like pigs in a blanket?
Little Smokies. If the people who are coming to your party are anywhere from the age of 45 to 72, Little Smokies are winning.
They'll bring in one of those crock pots with that like barbecue sauce and the
Yeah,
little Smokies.
it's an age thing. You don't go to a Super Bowl party with kids in their 20s and bring Little Smokies.
Right. But I mean, they're good. I'm not going to deny
Oh
them.
no,
Yeah, I don't.
that's
Yeah,
not for debate. They're
that's too much
fantastic.
work. Do you know what a pierogi is?
Yes, it's a potato wrapped like a ravioli potato.
Okay. When I moved up to this neck of the woods, I didn't know anything about these things, so I was thinking maybe you live down south, you might not know about them. All right, that's cool. Now, one of the things that I like, we've got this little recipe my wife makes. It's like she gets a real big potato, right, and then she just slices it up thin slices, kind of like an eighth of an inch. You know what I'm saying? Then she dusts some little barbecue on top. She melts some cheese on top, puts bacon bits on top, right? And then, cooks it. And it's like it comes out, if it's real thin, it'll come out like a potato chip with that stuff glued on it. It's a little thicker. It's like almost like a loaded baked potato skin. You know what I'm saying? So that's a pretty solid option. What do you think of that?
That sounds delicious, but I think I have the winner this year.
Okay. So
My good.
of our picks here, we're definitely on the wings. And are you a pizza or a pepperoni roll kind of guy?
Oh, that's a tough choice. The question is, well, it depends. Like, so pizza trumps. So you got pizza. It depends if you go super entree, right? If you have a bunch of little entrees, pepperoni rolls, wings, pepperoni
Uh,
rolls, little other
so
things.
correct. So if you have a lot of people and each person's bringing something, you
Right.
want them to bring like
You want to
pepperoni rolls.
compliment it, pepperoni rolls would be appropriate. But if
But
you're hosting,
if you're hosting, you bring the pizza out.
right, it's the easiest thing to
Uh,
get. They're $5 each. Yeah.
I got you. So
This year, good.
what's your item you were going to add to it?
Oh, this year, what I'm doing Sunday. On Sunday, I have found my TikTok recipe for the Super Bowl snack. It is hot dog casserole.
Hot dog casserole.
Let me describe this monstrosity to you. It's you take manicotti shell, put a hot dog in it. Okay, line them up like 7 or 8 manicotti shells with hot dogs in them. Layer it with chili, white onions, cheese. Put in the oven for 30 minutes.
Well, you do this, but I don't think you've ever made it. It looks great coming out of
No, I haven't made it. I haven't saved. It's on TikTok.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it comes out on TikTok. Everything comes out like, wow, that's amazing. It looks great. I mean, I can sit there all day and look at all the foods that I can make. But is that really what it's going to look like when you make it?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. It didn't look like that great. It sounded delicious. I mean, but it wasn't like ooh la la, that great looking. So as long as there's a bunch of hot dogs and manicotti underneath a bunch of chili.
Well,
I think
I'm gonna
I'm gonna win.
X
I think I'm gonna win the Super Bowl this year. Go ahead.
I'm gonna X that and say no. I don't want that.
Really, hot dog casserole? You can't get behind me.
Now
You'd be the first person. I've told 20.
I can scoot the manicotti hot dog concoction out of the way and just get chili because I could do some chili.
I'm gonna send you the. I'll send you the video. It'll.
Okay. So I'm gonna stick with the wings and the pizza type deal, not the hot dog casserole. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're on to desserts, and I don't know how deep you want to get in desserts, but like basically you just got your run through. You got your pies, you got your cookies shaped like footballs, you got your cake, cupcakes, those kind of things. Maybe you got like some kind of like pretzel concoction that they threw a little caramel and dipped some chocolate on it, so it's like a fake ass turtle or something. But what's your feel on desserts?
Desserts at a Super Bowl party is for the royal family. It's not for people like me.
It's for the royal family.
Yeah. If you're at the end of the evening and you're like, man, you know what? I can still fit something in my stomach. Eat another wing. All right. Put a little chocolate on it if you want, but have another wing
I'm
until.
putting an X all over the dessert because I'm with you. You didn't come here for dessert.
That's
I
right.
want I want your ass out.
Eat the crust. If you're still hungry, eat the crust of the pizza.
And if you're still hungry or you want something sweet, go home.
That's
Because we're here
right.
to watch football.
High five.
Well,
It's the other one.
whoa, hold on. Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. We ready to rate this?
So, yes, on the nose, how do you rate it, Mr. Stevens?
Delicious. Is that a number? I would probably. What did we do last week? 2.5.
Yeah, I think we did 0 to 5, right? And
Let me pour myself up a little bit more, just to have a good. I think it smells great. I think out of 5, I'd probably do 3.5. It smells delicious.
3.5. Okay. I can get behind that. I'll go with the 3.5 as well.
Yeah.
I agree. I've had better smells, but I mean, there's nothing off-putting about it. And it's
Exactly.
Now, I will say this. I did like a long time ago, I did a double oak blind between this and 1910, which is kind of like Old Forester's double oak version. And I think this one smells better, but 1910 tastes better. So just to, if someone's out there, they can't find double oak, go ahead. 1910 is a good option. Okay. What do you got on the palate?
Oh, that's going to be late. I like the chocolate at the end. I like the airiness. I like the smoothness of it. I just can't get past from the time you realize, hey, this is pretty smooth, to the time it hit to the chocolate soaks in the back of your tongue. I'm not 100% down with that.
So there's a weird middle for you. Huh?
There's a weird middle for me. I'd probably 3.2. 3.2.
Okay, 3.2. And I'm at a 3.3. And again, I think over time for me, the whiskey doesn't change much. It is what it is. Like you said, it's chocolate. I do get a chocolate on the back. I do get a little sweetness on the front. But, based on the smell, I wanted a little more. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when I drank the 1910, I felt the opposite. I was like, wow, this is going to suck. And I was like, oh, wow. If you could have this smell and that, and I was like,
yeah, but I mean, you're getting it's a one trick pony. All right. You're getting what you're getting. I'm not worried about correlating smell to what I expect. I'm like, if you're a one trick pony, what's your trick, and do I like it?
I feel you. All right. On the finish, what do you think?
What do you go first? Let me finish another.
I think the finish is actually pretty decent. One, it like you said, it finishes with that chocolate flavor. It still kind of tingles the tongue a little bit.
It's the back of your tongue, yeah.
Yeah, it sits back there a little bit. It doesn't come down and give you a Kentucky hug or anything. It's not super spicy. But from a flavor perspective, it probably sticks around 20, 30 seconds. Not a lot, but I think it's better than average. So I'm gonna go with like a 3.3, 3.4.
I think that's part of the personality it's missing. It's so. I think they could take down the smoothness a hair. I think it's just a smooth going down. Like the finish is just as smooth as going in, right?
All right.
Um, and yeah, it's nice to have that chocolate sitting on the back of your tongue. But I don't think there's any personality in the finish. I don't think there's anything that sticks with me that goes, yum. I don't say the word yum. I'd probably do more of a 3.1.
3.1. Okay. Well, I mean, if you look at last week's rating, man, this
I,
must be the best whiskey you've ever had.
this is infinitely this was infinitely better than last week's. This one's got
Well,
personality. It's a one trick pony. It's not a four. You're not going to get in the fours with this.
mhm.
It the trick it does well. I mean,
Okay.
I like it. And
All
it's
right. And then uniqueness. Again, unless I feel something that's not typical or a different profile, I'm going to go with like a 3. So that's just a standard for me.
I would take it
So
because of my last comment. I take it down a notch to 2.9. But yeah, I mean,
on the uniqueness
yeah, it's
or the
not.
finish. Okay.
It's a one trick pony. It's not a pony that makes me go yum. It doesn't. I don't close my
Okay.
eyes and dream that I was in the woods. It's just
Right.
it's
Right.
just
That's
a
fine.
it's just a good
So
taste, good smell, and good taste of whiskey.
so out of 20, I got a 13.2, and
Right?
out of 20, you got a 12.7.
Sounds
So
about.
okay, so that's good. Now I'm gonna real. There was nothing else we're talking about this week, right?
That's it, man. What do you drink? What are you drinking this, or what do you got, or what are you drinking this week?
What am I drinking this week?
Yeah.
I can drink a lot of stuff, but I mean, I didn't have. I don't have any plans to drinking anything else. But I am gonna.
We all
I
don't
am
have a we all don't have a goody behind us. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
You probably do. You have a goody behind you.
I'm getting there after week 2, man. We're getting there.
So I'm gonna put 4 things in a bottle here and send them to you.
Well, don't admit it publicly, but yeah.
Well, I didn't say how you were gonna get it. It might be on a pony courier or something, or I might be traveling for work or something. Be able to bring it down there. No big deal.
There you go.
But do you want to try something in the rye flavor? Do you want to try something in the? You want to try to stick with this double oak so you can see other versions of double oak. What are you in the mood for, Mister Danger?
At at minimum 1 rye. At minimum, right?
Okay.
I have to expand my rye experience outside of old fashions. Um, and, at least 1 rye. I want one. What's the word I'm looking for? I want one. What's the one fan? Not one fancy, but one like unique distillery that is well respected, right? Not like an old like Heaven Hill or something but something unique, right? And then the other 2 are up for grabs.
Oh, so you want like a unique kind of
Like a s'moresgasm. What was the one that s'moresgasm?
That's not really a whiskey. I mean, that's just like
I know,
that's
but something unique, something interesting,
okay. Something interesting.
something
But
I
you
haven't
want
heard of, something.
something you hadn't heard of, which okay, I can handle that. And do you want to get these knowing what they are, or do you want like A, B, C, D, and then
Nope.
you try to
ABCD,
taste
ABCD.
A, B, C, D? Okay.
And what we'll have is we'll have Amy set them up for you too. We'll do blind
Okay.
taste tests.
Yeah, that's fine. So here's my little tray that I'm gonna fill them into.
Wow,
Print this on my 3D printer.
nice. Do you have a 3D printer?
I do actually. If you need anything printed, I'll try to help you out. It's kind of I don't know. Have you used a 3D printer?
No, but a buddy of mine has one.
Okay, well, a buddy of mine had one, and he was printing like trophies and all this kind of cool stuff, like little miniatures that he was using for like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And I was like, "What? That's crazy! You can do." And he's a techie guy, so he actually knew what was going on. I got it. and I got a really high end 3D printer. I mean, it wasn't like the what is it, like the top of the line of that brand, but it is like one of the best 3D printers, but it's like a smaller version. You know what I'm saying? And so like to bring the cost down, you actually have to build half of it. You know what I'm saying? They send it to you in pieces, and then you build it. And so I'm sitting there, and it's like just in pieces, and I'm like, this is intimidating. I'm not like a, I'm not
Well,
like an
I did see you build that Lego Steelers stadium. That was
Well, Legos is like, hey, push this Lego into this, push that and that. This was like, oh, I've got wires hanging out and I need to shield them and then I need to put red to black. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm going to fuck something up. And actually, when I actually got into it, it was a lot easier and it was pretty well printed out. So I didn't have a problem. But I was intimidated. So for like the first month and a half of having this Christmas present, I was like, I'm not gonna put it together. And my wife's like, I spent all this money and you're not even gonna put it out, and I'm like, all right, fine. And so I pulled it out one day and it took me over like 6 hours to put it together. And I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm doing something wrong or whatever. And so I put it together and then I was like, okay, what do I print? And so I was like, I was online, I was looking at some tutorials and I was following the rules that they came up with. And it was like, just print a test thing or whatever. And I hit print and it was terrible. I mean, it was like little strings of, what is it?
oh yeah, I've seen them printed. Yeah,
Filament was everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, I broke it. I somehow broke it. I mean, it's clearly not what it needs to be. And so like I'm freaking out and I'm texting the owners and I'm saying, this shit's broken. Oh, what's going on? Da, da, da. And like, and so then I look at all these FAQs and all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, people are like, oh, your height or whatever is not set up right or whatever. I'm sitting there going, why the hell does the height matter? And all this kind of stuff. And then it kind of like once I figured it out, it was a height issue. Like it's like the nozzle has to be so close to the actual surface that when it drops one drop of plastic, it basically is flattened onto the surface and it like creates a flat surface. And then as you're panning out the filament, it like flattens it. And so then the next line comes on top and it builds like a building, right? But what I was doing, because the nozzle it wasn't up here, but it was a little higher. It was coming down and it just had a hang to it and it wasn't drying. And so it wasn't like, as it was moving, it was never getting adhered to the surface so it could get stacked on. And so, but once I got it, I was like, yo, this is cool. Like I created, and I think I showed you, one time when I came down and saw you, there was this thing online for whiskey barrels, and so it's like a little whiskey barrel. I don't know. Did you see this? I thought I brought one.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
So it's a little whiskey barrel, right? It's a little plastic whiskey barrel. It actually I mean, that's how awesome the 3D printer is. It'll actually put grooves into the actual screw of the device, right? And
cool.
You can actually, if you look at it, you can see like it looks like wood because of some of the way it's featured. But inside is a Glencairn. And you can see this one says Chattanooga whiskey because I went to Chattanooga whiskey and got one. So it's super cool. And like you can pretty much make anything. And again, I don't have a lot of skill in art and those kind of things, but you can download stuff online. And if you want me to print you something, let me know and I'll try to make it for you. No big deal.
Cool. All right, man.
Yeah, that's the end of the show. I'll send you some of these whiskeys and we can do a blind test next week.
If I get them in time. If not, then we both buy Kentucky Deluxe and have a good time. Right?
I don't have Kentucky Deluxe where I'm at.
Oh, you don't have... wait, okay, you don't have Kentucky Deluxe in Pennsylvania. But you need... How do you not have it in your liquor... No liquor collection is complete. It's
I've
like
never heard
owning a
of it.
GI Joe set without Cobra Commander, man. It's just come
How
on.
about this? If we get into a point where you don't have some whiskey to taste, we go with Evan Williams Bottled and Bond.
I've had that's one of my. If I had to go top 10 go tos, that'd be one of my top 10 go tos. I'm very familiar with.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna stock your shelf. I don't have it, so it'll be okay. And it's only like $20.
It's a little. It's not the it's a hard whiskey to like. It's Evan Williams. Evan Williams is great, but the Bottle and Bond's a little. It's not for the faint of heart. You know what I'm saying? There we go. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
I hear it's pretty solid for what you get.
It's not for the faint of heart. You gotta want to drink whiskey if you're drinking Evan Williams Bottle and Bond.
Do you know a Kathy Savage?
I do not know a Kathy Savage. That's oh no. That's you don't think my wife started an account for Kathy Savage? Hank Danger, Kathy Savage.
Is that like a
I don't know. I haven't. I'd be very interested if she did.
is
I do not know a
is Hank
Kathy Savage.
is Hank Danger and Kathy Savage somehow related?
Danger Savage, two word.
I think that's a little.
Maybe it's
stretch.
just a nice lady named Kathy Savage who's tuning
It
in.
was
God bless
2001.
God bless you, Kathy.
Yeah, thanks for attending tonight. You're
Yeah.
probably gone by now, because I'm reading this probably 20 minutes late. But sorry about that. We'll get better at this. I promise. Anyways,
Hank Danger Whiskey at YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go search Hank Danger Whiskey. I am re-streaming these 1 hour, re-premiering these 1 hour before we go live every Tuesday from the previous week. So next Tuesday,
so what do you download them and put them up there?
I downloaded and started. I did the premiere, the YouTube premiere, where it would premiere at a certain time. 1 hour
Oh,
before this one started.
all right, cool.
It's kind of like A&E. I'm A&E. You're NBC. So your first run, I'll be the week after.
Hey, it's all good. It doesn't matter to me. We're just here to have fun. All right.
I only have one subscriber, so if you want to be that second subscriber, Hank Danger Whiskey, please.
Guess who your one subscriber is? It ain't Kathy Savage.
Kathy, go on over to Hank Danger Whiskey. Oh man, this has been a good time.
Hey, good show. Peace out, guys. Fat guy, little sips out.
I'm exiting the danger zone. Let me. The music is cued on 3, 2, 1.